CTV's W5.
I knew something was wrong. I knew it wasn't right.
A young girl, a dark night, a brutal murder.
We lost her that day. She lost her daughter. We lost her sister.
It was terrible.
He was dangerous, real dangerous.
And the decades-long search for a killer.
We suspected at least 50 to 75 people.
We want you guys to be part of it.
It's the fight of my life.
Here is Avery Haynes.
Welcome to W5. A 16-year-old girl was found dead just outside Montreal more than 40 years ago, and her family never lost hope that her killer would be caught. W5's French sister station Nouveau has obtained remarkable access to key players and to the evidence. Journalist Marie-Christine Bergeron documents the extraordinary search for justice.
Do you want a coffee? Or a tea?
Please.
A tea? Okay. Okay. Look at some pictures.
I remember this one very well. Can you see that one? It's me, Maureen, Sharron, and Jojo. We were playing Monopoly.
Oh, yeah, on the floor.
Yeah.
On the floor.
Sharron.
That was cute.
Well, Maureen, me. I think I can't even tell us apart. Jojo. Here you go.
That's another one.
Yeah, that's at Christmas. That's Reverend Cochran.
At the Reverend's there. Sharron was a sweet girl. And I found her very beautiful. Of course, every mother would say that, I'm sure. My name is Mrs. Yvonne Prior, and I am the mother of Sharron Prior that was kidnapped, raped, and murdered in 1975. In all those years, while we're trying to find out who was involved in Sharron's murder, it's not finished. And then there's got to be the answers.
OK. Moi, ce que je vais faire, je vais demander à Sophie qu'elle l'appelle.
My first contact with the Sharron Prior murder case was in December 2021. At the time, I was working on another cold case. This case led me to examine Sharron's case to check to see if they were linked. I'm Eric Rasico. I'm a detective sergeant at Longueuil's Police Department. I'm the 14th lead investigator who has worked on this cold case. There are also at least 30 investigators who have contributed to the case through various investigative techniques. Sharron was a lively little girl. The community of Pointe-Saint-Charles liked her a lot, and she had a lot of friends. She was also very active in sports as well. She was living in Pointe-Saint-Charles with her mother and her siblings, including twin girls, Doreen and Maureen.
She was shy. She was, I guess, more timid than we were. But she was a beautiful soul inside and out, inside and out.
I'm Sharron Prior. I'm Sharron Prior's sister.
And I'm Maureen Prior, Sharron Prior's younger sister. I was 14 at the time of her death.
She had lots of friends, mostly from school.
And she was, up and doing more things outside of that.
She was older. She had her mindset of a 16-year-old woman, young lady.
She was well-behaved and had a nice personality, too. What happened is that on Saturday, March 29th, 1975, she was last seen leaving the family home.
On the 29th of March, I was at home. Coming in the evening, Sharron was getting ready to go out. Sharron left the home at 7 o'clock.
She was heading out that day at 7 o'clock to meet friends at Marina's. It's like a little joint, little pizza place on Ash Avenue and Wellington.
The pizzeria is 650 meters away from her home. It's a 7-minute walk. It really isn't far. And it's a route she frequently took because it was a meeting point for young people at the time.
2 hours later, her friend Donna phoned me up. She said, is Sharron there? No. Mrs. Prior, I don't want to scare you. That's what she said. She says, well, there was an attack on a woman on Ash Avenue. Oh no, I said, oh no.
That's when she really started to worry about her daughter. Actually, what happened is that a woman named Sharron was assaulted by an unknown man at 565 Ash Avenue in Pointe-Saint-Charles.
All I remember is at that point at night, we were looking at my mom, and my mom said, Sharron's not home.
That's right.
And where is she? And we were looking, and we were, thinking, where is she? And my mother went, she was frantic.
She said,
I never
something's wrong.
forget.
Something's wrong. Something's terribly wrong. She kept on saying, she goes, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
And then I phoned police about 2. The police told me, they said I wouldn't worry too much. They said, she's just probably at a party somewhere and she just forgot the time and that, and she'll probably come home tomorrow. But I said, you don't understand. There was a woman that was attacked.
At that time, the police had not yet made the connection between Sharron's abduction and Sharron's assault.
I remember we were looking out the window, me, Mom, and we kept on looking back and forth and checking, see if she was coming home. It's getting later and it's dark.
She should be home. That's not Sharron. She would have called. She's not home. Where is she?
It was terrible. I knew something was wrong. I knew it wasn't right. I knew, I had that feeling, I had that feeling through me. It was horrible.
My mother, she saw someone across the street.
That's right.
It was Ronnie.
So I yelled out to him, what is in the newspaper? And he looked at me, he said, nothing, Yvonne, nothing. I crossed the street and I grabbed the paper and I ran back. He let the paper go. And I read that there was a girl found in Longueuil. In my mind, it was Sharron. That was all. I knew it was her.
I remember Mother screaming. I remember the high pitch when she found out. I remember that.
And the scream and the, it's her, it's her, it's her, it's her.
It's her, it's her, yeah.
I just went nuts. I didn't handle it very well at all.
We lost her that day.
Yeah, we lost her.
We lost her that day. She lost her daughter. We lost her sister.
She lost herself. She lost herself that day. She lost herself.
Coming up,
We have photos. We have interviews.
a grieving family keeps the hunt for justice alive.
I didn't want them to stop looking.
When W5 continues.
Since this case has always remained at the forefront in our department, I thought it was worthwhile to re-examine it with a neutral eye, to reanalyze everything that had been done over the years to check if there was anything new. I'm Sophie Tugas, a detective lieutenant in the Major Crimes Section at the Longueuil Police Department. 4 years ago, I was also put in charge of the Unsolved Homicides Division. A few years ago, we had an unsolved murder case, and we decided to use someone who didn't know the case at all. It's in the same spirit that I asked Eric Rasico to review Sharron Prior's case. This case has 7 or 8 boxes of documents that expanded over the years.
These boxes hold all the witnesses, all the police officers who worked on the case, but also the investigators' reports. There was the autopsy report, the photos of the scene, and the seized exhibits.
The first time the Longueuil police told me about the Sharron Prior case, I felt that Eric, the investigator, the detective sergeant, was onto something. The police had been investigating the case for 48 years, and 120 suspects had been identified over the years. He was so convinced he could solve this crime thanks to new technologies and investigation techniques I didn't know about. His enthusiasm is contagious and gives you hope. Let's have a first look at where Sharron's body was found on this map of Longueuil.
Yeah, we're on the south shore of Montreal in Longueuil. The exact location is at the corner of Chemin de Lac and Guimont Boulevard.
What did the police officers notice at the scene and write down on the map?
The police officers specifically noticed the number of objects in the area. The scene is messy. Many clues were collected at the time. The victim was found with her own coat. It's laid on top of her. A shirt was attached to the strap of the coat. We believe this was used as a restraint to restrict the victim's movements. And in this photo, we can see Sharron Prior's body. With the pants that were removed from her, we can see she has her shoes on. This tells us that the suspect must have struggled to take off her pants because he had to pull them over her shoes. There's resistance, which allows us to collect the suspect's DNA because he put his hands all over her clothes for a long time. That's what stuck with me when I started to analyze the crime scene. On top of her, we can see her brown coat, and there's a blue shirt attached to the strap of her coat.
So she was brought there while attached, and then the attacker took off her coat and restraints to assault her. How did he kill her? By looking at this picture, the poor kid went through hell.
All the trauma was concentrated on Sharron's face. She choked on her own blood, and that's how she died. Once the many photos of the crime scene had been taken, the seized exhibits are photographed. Here's the picture of the most important element that came to light during the investigation. Sharron's coat, but especially the shirt that was attached to its strap, as you can see. These are Sharron's pants, which were taken off her. All the exhibits of the crime scene have been preserved. At the time, it was preserved without knowing DNA exists or that it could be used later on. The policy at the time was to keep them. Then new techniques appeared in the 2000s. We started to pull out the cold cases in order to reevaluate these exhibits, to try and trace DNA profiles. The more time that passed, the more refined that DNA collection techniques and identification recovery became. And in 2015, we started getting interesting results. We started to get a profile of the suspect, not just from one or two places, but in 3 different places at the crime scene. When it came to explaining the investigation to the family, I quickly discovered by reading the investigation reports that they knew everything from start to finish.
You just celebrated her birthday? She's 85?
We had a big party.
Parallel to the police investigation, you would do your own research. You would go on site, meet people, and see what the suspects would look like.
First, we start by I used to get the telephone book. I still have them, the telephone books. I don't know if anybody else has them, saved them that long.
Why did you keep them?
We were looking for a name of a person, and we had the address, and we'd go there and we'd look at the person and, you know, get an idea who he was, you know?
We suspected at least 50 to 75 people.
Yeah.
We have photos, we have interviews. When we would get a little tip, we'd go on the computer and we'd email the detectives.
They helped the police by giving them new information sources, but also the contact details of potential suspects. That was the right thing to do. When you keep the flame alive, you keep hope alive. That's what the family did, and it was the right thing to do.
You always kept in very close contact with the investigators who were working on Sharron's case.
I didn't want them to stop looking.
Is this the fight of your life?
Yes, it's a fight of my life. I just want the answers. I want the answers. I want to know who did this.
Coming up,
We're gonna give you news about the case again.
has new technology revealed a hidden clue?
His name was never brought up by anyone since 1975.
When W5 continues.